You're listening to Body Confident Friday, the place to be for tools, strategies, and perspectives to help you feel more comfortable and confident in your body. I'm Judy Craddock, the Body Confidence Coach, author of the Little Book of Body Confidence, and creator of the Body Confidence Journey, the coaching program for women who want to stop chasing the perfect body and embrace the one that they are in. Welcome to the show. Today I want to talk about body grief. Now you may be thinking, what's body grief? Surely grief is something that happens when you lose a loved one. Well, yes and no. Grief isn't just about death. It can be part of any loss, whether that's a job loss, a relationship breakdown, or just the loss of the body that either you once had or that you dreamed of. And for me, understanding body grief has shed a whole new light on why my clients struggle to heal the relationship that they have with their bodies. And the more that I learn about body grief, the more I'm convinced that working through body grief is so vital to improving your body image. So this episode is going to be one of a 3-part series all about body grief. And today I'm going to start by introducing the concept of body grief. So let's get stuck in. What is body grief? So I learnt about body grief from a lady called peri-menopause, who calls herself a body image creator, and she's also creator of Body Image with Brie, and I'm a really big fan of hers, so I would highly recommend that you go check her out. You'll find her over on Instagram. And Brie describes body grief as the distress caused by the perceived losses that come up when you stop attempting to change your body size. And body grief is the loss of the thin ideal and or the loss of the body size that you used to have. So let me just give you some examples. So if you have ever looked at an old photo of yourself and wished for your younger or thinner body, or you have clothes in your wardrobe that you know are not going to fit you again, but you just can't get rid of them because you really want to get back into that size, well, that could be body grief. And body grief also comes up for other body changes too, like if you have experienced changes in your mobility or physical strength or just age-related changes. And I know for myself personally, I recently really struggled with some physical changes that are happening to my body, which mean I can't move in the same way that I used to be able to. And I've been experiencing some body grief around that. And body grief is also about mourning the loss of all the amazing things that you thought would happen when you achieved that elusive ideal body. So that could be, attracting a new partner, getting a promotion, or maybe wearing a bikini with confidence for the first time on holiday. And I've observed all of these telltale signs of body grief popping up for my clients as they try to accept their body. And with grief comes discomfort and distress, which understandably clients want to push away or avoid altogether. But the problem is you can't bypass body grief on the way to body acceptance. Like any grief, you must pass through it. And ignoring grief will just keep you stuck in your distress and discomfort. And to move through it, you have to pass through a few different stages. Now, you have probably heard of the 5 stages of grief as it relates to the loss of a loved one, so suffering and bereavement. Well, there are also, according to peri-menopause, 5 stages of body grief. And like a bereavement, when you're experiencing body grief, you will pass through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, but not necessarily in that order because the stages, they're fluid, they are non-linear, so you can cycle backwards and forwards between the various stages. So I'm just going to chat you through each of the different stages briefly so you kind of know how to recognize where you are. So in denial, you really don't want to let go of the body you once had or your ideal body that you've maybe been striving for all your life. And you might say something to yourself like, well, just let me try to get my body back on track, and this time I'll get there. Now, your anger in the anger stage can be directed at yourself, or it could be directed at others. So you might beat yourself up for not being able to achieve the body that you wanted, or you might moan about how unfair it is that others can have their dream body and you can't. So you might find yourself saying things at this stage like, it's so unfair that I've got to give up on my idea of the dream body while others can still have it by dieting and exercising. Then during the bargaining stage, you may decide that you're just going to have one more go at fixing your body. So this is the sort of thing I hear from clients. I'm just going to go on this diet for a few weeks and then I'm going to stop dieting for good. Or they'll say, I just need to get to this size and then I'll be happy and I'll never moan about my body again. Then in the depression stage, you may feel sadness about the body that you're in and all the time that you've spent trying to change your body to no avail. And so I hear clients saying things like, I just can't believe this is my body. Or I can't believe how many years I've spent trying to change. And they'll say things like, I'm so sad about all the time and energy that I've wasted. And then the acceptance stage, in that you've come to terms with the loss of the body that you had or that you wanted, and you accept the body that you're in. And so typically clients might say things like, I may not love my body, but I do respect it, or just this is my body. But the important thing to know about acceptance, it doesn't necessarily mean that you like or love your body. And I see this as a trap that people can fall into. Acceptance is more about acknowledging the reality that you're in, regardless of how that makes you feel. And so what I find with clients is they often expect to move from like body hate to acceptance and go there directly without passing through all the other stages, and feeling that you have to do that can just create more struggle and distress for them. So the key to working through your body grief, and it's really the opposite of what you might think it is to learn to tolerate the discomfort that you have around your body without judging it or trying to fix it in any way. So sometimes when we feel really uncomfortable, say about the negative thoughts that are coming up about our body, we might try to take some kind of action to fix our body, like, okay, I'm just going to go to the gym and try and lose this weight, or I'm going to go on a diet. But passing through body grief is more about just being able to sit with that distress that you're experiencing in the moment. And I'm going to be talking more about how you can tolerate and manage your body grief in the next 2 episodes of Body Confident Friday, and those will be episodes 188 and 189, so make sure that you watch out for those. But before that, I'd like to wrap up this episode with some coaching questions I've put together for you. So having listened to this episode, I'd love to hear your answers to these questions. What about body grief resonates for you? And what stage or stages of body grief do you identify with the most? So have you noticed maybe that you've passed through a few different ones, or maybe you're getting stuck in one particular stage? And finally, what's the main thing that you're going to take away from this episode? So please let me know your answers to those questions below wherever you are listening. That's all I've got for this episode of Body Confident Friday. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to catch you next time.